A lover once called me knackig, the German word for crisp and crunchy like a young apple, the new season's kind, juicy and soft-skinned. Yes, once I was a delicious pink lady looking forward to a royal gala. Now I'm a Granny Smith, tart with a bite. The first man that ever accepted an apple from a woman knew the meaning of temptation and never regretted it. My body is shaped like an apple, round and ripe. Rubens and Renoir painted juicy apple women like me, but now my waistline is considered a health hazard. Unlike the banana women or the pear women. Why are women fruit salad when men just are? My grandmother was an apple woman too. With her bare hands, she could crack an apple open simply by twisting it, laying bare the five-pointed star within, a little taste of heaven in every bite. Even though it's so deeply unfashionable, a throwback to past centuries, an object of derision, I am proud of this round apple body, flawed, bruised, scarred, stretched, fallen so far from the tree. This body has experienced all that life has to offer. This body has travelled the world, crossed deserts, plunged into oceans, climbed every bell tower in Europe, explored the pyramids. This body has trudged the weary silence of Ormiston Pound, circumlocuted Uluru. This body has loved intensely, and from that love carried two babies whose hungry cries caused these fountains of life to flow unashamed. This body has suffered massive insults, endured pain beyond words, healed all her wounds. This body survives. This body thrives. No longer knackig. This apple still hangs on the branch, now zaftig, ripe and ready, defying that final harvest. There's a few crunchy bites left in me yet. I stand before you, a shimmering goddess, speaking of love and light and beauty. But like all goddesses, I have a darker aspect too. Sometimes a good person wants to do a bad thing, just for the hell of it, for the sheer outrageous pleasure of it, for the thrill of transgression without confession, just to see what it feels like to take a walk on the wild side, the dark side, the side there's no turning back from. It all started when I discovered I was invisible to normal human eyes. I had fallen into the world of the glamour. You think of glamour as something that sells magazines, movie stars, celebrities, paparazzi, snapping at all hours. The glamour is so much more seductive and sinister. It exists on the edge of reality, behind a veil of invisibility. We all love glamour. The way we talk, the way we dress, the way we walk, all create the image we want to convey. When we fall in love, we are blind to the flaws of our lover. Fall out of love, it's as though cataracts have been removed from our eyes. Those flaws are suddenly all so clear. I discovered the glamour by accident. Shop assistants stopped serving me, preferring someone younger, thinner, prettier. Even when I dumped my goods on the counter and stormed off in a huff, they didn't call me back. It was as though I wasn't there. People I knew well would walk straight past me in the street. When I called out to them, they kept going, as if they couldn't hear me. Someone smashed into my car in broad daylight. I didn't see you, she said. The sun was in my eyes. My car is bright red. At work, the boss said right in front of me, "Where's Lou?" When I came back from holidays, all he said was, "Oh, so she came back after all." I decided to test out my theory. I started getting into work later and later, took long lunches, napped under my desk. Eventually I stopped going into work altogether. Nothing happened. Payments kept coming into my bank account. No one called me to find out what had happened. I decided to test my theory in public. I sat at a bus shelter and I inched my knickers down under my skirt, down to my ankles, and whisked them into my handbag. Cars were passing by, lovers canoodled on a corner. No one noticed. Maybe I've been too subtle. Time to escalate. I took off all my clothes and hailed a bus. It was a little chilly, but this was an experiment. The bus pulled up, someone got off, and then it pulled out and drove away. No one batted an eye. It was then that I realised that I was now truly invisible in the real world. Think of the possibilities. I started out with baby steps, not buying a train ticket, nicking a packet of gum, stealing a whole set of glasses from the pub just because they looked so good in my house. I got away with everything. My house filled with designer clothes and Tiffany jewels, my fridge stocked with Pate and Veuve Clicquot, on stage with the band at every concert in town. I could go anywhere and do anything. Time to escalate again. I started thinking of bigger crimes, smoking pot outside the cop shop, cooking up meth like that guy in Breaking Bad, sticking up banks, avoiding taxes, now that really is a crime, setting up an international Ponzi scheme. But then I realised these things were all too easy, plus some of them are actually hard work. My new glamour of invisibility is a perfect weapon. Free of the world, I can commit the biggest, baddest crime of all. What to choose, who to kill. So many worthy of my attention. That bastard who killed the last western black rhino on Earth so some goblin with a micro penis could pretend he was a man. Give them both a bowl of virus and watch them bleed like that rhino. Those politicians who watch children drown in ramshackle boats, put them in an open boat out to sea without a compass. The wicked witch of the West who hoards her treasure like Smaug the dragon, let her suffocate under the weight of her wealth. The man down the road who beats his wife and kids after the pub closes. Like Tantalus, keep the bottle in view, but always just out of reach. I could go on, but what's the point? There's too many of them. I could kill all those, but millions more would arise in their place. I am just one person. Even if I worked day and night, I could never get them all. So, my friends, I have the solution. I'm going to form an army of all you, downhearted, dispossessed, unwashed, unsung, unloved, unwanted, invisible ones. There's a new zombie apocalypse in town, and we're ready.